Remember playing Lego blocks as a kid? Well, React components are basically the same, except now you're an adult and there's a lot fewer blocks being left under the couch. So let's go ahead and build our first React component block by block. So the first thing you're probably wondering is, if you've never seen React, what is a React component? Well, a React component, picture a React component as a custom Lego piece, right? Now that we're on the topic of Legos. It's a self-contained, reusable, and when combined with other Lego pieces, it can create magnificent digital structures. So think of it as something that's very reusable. Before placing our first brick, we need a proper React environment set up for us. So with that being said, if you don't have a React environment set up, I'm going to show you how to do that right here. But if you do, you can skip a little further ahead where we do have one set up. You can think of this step as kind of like buying your Lego set to start with. Over here on my terminal, the first thing you're going to do, if you don't have a terminal or you don't have anything for your coding environment set up on Windows, then go over here and check this video out where I show you how to set up a whole coding environment for Windows, and then you can hop back over here and continue where we're at. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to install a thing called Vite. Vite is basically a web tool or tool for creating templates of different languages and projects. And also it has a really cool feature that bundles up your projects way quicker than it normally does, because Create React App is another tool similar to this that uses Webpack, but this uses rollup, so the build times are way quicker. And if you don't know what build times mean, basically it's just whenever you're uploading a project to maybe a website or a server so that it can get ran on a website, it basically builds all of the information and files and stuff together. And then sometimes the build times can take really long, but with rollup it fixes that issue of making it a lot quicker. And that's one of the main reasons why people use Vite, and it's also been updated more. And that's my whole spiel about Vite. So Vite is the way to go. So we're going to type sudo npm. First, we're gonna update everything. So we could do a sudo apt-get update. It's gonna run through. It's gonna update all the files. Make sure that you get the latest files once you go to install something. So we'll wait for this to finish, and I'll hop right back. So now that this is finished, we're basically just gonna do a Control L. It's gonna clear everything, and we're gonna do a sudo npm I, which is Node Package Manager. If you don't have this, then you need to follow this video that I mentioned. It's going to show you how to set everything up, so that way, if you follow that video, you won't have to do anything extra in this video but what I'm showing you. So sudo npm I, for short for install, -g, which is for globally on your system, and Vite, and we're just going to run that, let it run, and mine didn't really do anything. It says here I can update to the latest version if I want, but I'm fine. Everything works right now, so I'm not going to do that. But it's on my system now, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the directory where I want to have a project exist. So now I'm going to run npm create vite at latest. You could also, after the at, you could put a specific version of Vite if you want, but usually I just do latest, it's fine, especially for this example. And from there, then we're going to do test underscore component, or you can name this whatever. This is going to be the name of the project. We're going to hit enter right here, and then we're going to choose what kind of framework we want. So we want React, and then we want JavaScript plus SWC. SWC is short for Speedy Web Controller. It's basically just making compiling times quicker. So then we're going to do as it says. We're going to cd into that folder that we just made, and then we're going to do an npm install, let that run, and give it some time. Now that we've got that done, we're in the folder, and what we're going to do is do a code dot, and this is going to bring up this in VS Code, and it'll show you exactly what we have here. So now you can see you have these different folders and stuff, and it actually brings up a template for you. What we're going to do is we're going to go in here and we're going to go to the source directory. We're going to go to the app.jsx, and we are going to basically from here to this, from this p tag to the div, we're going to delete that, delete the state, and we're going to delete all this right here and this. The reason we're deleting all this stuff is because we're going to make our own component. That's just the default stuff that it comes with. And if you actually want to see what the default stuff looks like, I just added all of it back really quick, and we could do npm run dev. So you do Control J to open up this terminal. Control J opens and closes your terminal, and do an npm run dev. Hit enter, and then we could do Control and then click with your mouse, a left click, and this will open this up right here, and you can see that we have a test. This is what every template looks like when you run it. So if you click this, it counts, and if you refresh, it resets, and it's pretty cool. It's just basics, but we're gonna make our own component. We're gonna build like a little um, just like a little theme thing kind of thing out, just that way you can understand components and what they are. Nothing too complex, just getting the understanding of the basics. So we're gonna go back and delete all this stuff. Delete that, delete the state, delete that, that, right? And it's gonna throw errors right here, but that's fine. Alright guys, so with our component, we've made a file that's called profile info. You just basically right click, click new file, make that called profileinfo.jsx. We came over here to app.jsx, copied this, and pasted it here, and we changed it from app to profile info everywhere. And now what this is going to do, it's just going to be a layout of just profile info. So maybe the profile has a first name, last name, age, phone number, email, right? We're going to say it has that. So this is going to be in a div, and right here what you're seeing, this is JSX. This is basically JavaScript and HTML combined together, and you'll see what's pretty cool about this is how you can implement JavaScript and HTML all at the same time, right? So let's say we have an object, and we can say this is the profile data, equal this to an object, and inside that object we have full name or first name, which is equal to my first name is Will, and then we could say last name, and well, actually not equal to, but colon like that, and then the last name would be my last name Swenson. We could do age, and we could actually do age is 22. We could just make this a number, not a string, and we could say phone number, phone number. We could just make this some random numbers, and then email would actually just do like this, some random email at gmail.com, right? And put this in a string, just like that, and get rid of this colon at the end. So this is the profile data, and what we could do is we can take the profile data and we can just put it in here, and we can start. So maybe for our heading, we could put our first name and our last name. So we could say H1. We could do just like this, first name. Well, we'd have to say profile data dot first name. And what we'll do is we're going to import this component. So the way you import a component is just like this. So we're going to import our component into the app component, and just like this, if you just do a bracket and then you do profile info, you should see it autocomplete, and you can autocomplete before you just hit enter, and it'll import for you automatically. But basically you're just going to give the direct route to the component wherever that is. Since it's in this folder, all you have to do is /profile info, and then we're just going to close that out, right? And now you can start seeing that my name's here, right? So if we go back to the profile info, we can start adding more data. So we can actually right here, just like this, put the profile data dot last name. Boom. You can see, so these curly brackets allow for you to do JavaScript inside the HTML, which was what I was talking about. And now we could do in this tag, we could say a p tag. Hello, I'm currently, and then we could say profile data dot age 22 years old, and we can actually just add some things to spice it up. And now our phone number and email. We could just say that maybe this is like the bottom of like a page where you need to get in contact with somebody. P tag, if you need to contact me, please call me at, and then we could just put profile data dot phone number, or email me at, and then we could put profile data dot email, just like that. And you can see it's actually putting these things in. And then if the whole point of this is that if I want to change this, I can. So maybe I want my first name, I don't know, to be Bart. Or maybe I want it to be Walter, right? And then maybe I want my last name to be White. There we go. And maybe I want to change my phone number. Yeah, I just change it like this. Now that's my phone number. And maybe this is Walter White at gmail.com, all caps. So you can see how this is changing. And maybe I want to reuse this, and it's way easier to reuse. All I have to do is copy this, paste it. Boom, now I have two. But maybe I want a profile info for, somebody else. So what I could do is I could copy this, right click this, paste, rename this, and I could change this to profile info Will, right? And then now all this stuff would say Will. And all I have to do is go to the app and import the new one that says Will. So we can copy that, hit enter, change this to Will. And then remember, everywhere you change the import or the file name, you change it of the actual import too. So we'd have to change this as well. So once I save this, you'll see a change. Boom, Will White, change it. And you can actually edit all those things and change it. So the whole thing I'm trying to have you understand in this video is that components are reusable, and there's a lot more things that go into components. There's actually a way easier way to do this with a thing called props, and there's also more to React, which is hooks and use state and stuff like that. I'm not getting too in depth in that. A component is basically just this. A component is allowed and sole's purpose to be first reusable, and then at that point you can add more onto it, but it's mainly used to be reusable. That's the main purpose that React was created, was for components to be reusable, in the sense that you can just not have to it's way easier to change the elements and the contents within a component instead of having to do a bunch of reach rounds to do that.